Deepfakes are all fun and games. That is until you become a deepfake yourself.
The more you express yourself, the more we own you.
The Disinformation Handbook is our guide to rejecting deception.
False visuals. Let's look at how they evolve from propaganda posters
to whatever this frightening thing is.
Okay, it's the summer of 2019 and everyone is angry. We're mad because the final season of Game of Thrones came out and it's very bad.
I actually liked it.
Doug, no.
It's so bad that Kit Harington, as his character Jon Snow, made a video where he apologizes for the poor quality of the show's finale.
It's time for some apologies. I'm sorry we wasted your time.
Except, it never happened. It was a deepfake, a manipulated video that made it look like Kit was talking by using machine learning to digitally recreate his mouth's movements.
Hearing Kit apologize for the bad season was funny, but what if it had been something more serious? What if it was a video of a head of state declaring war? Or what if it was you? What if someone used your images to make it appear like you had done something wrong or illegal?
Today we're going to talk about false visuals and how to safeguard against them.
We'll start with the kind of false visual you most commonly imagine, which is any alteration to the content of an image or video after it was captured with an intent to deceive the viewer. This includes photoshopping, like when bodybuilder Devin Physique used Photoshop to make himself look thinner, bulkier, and tanner all at the same time. The look he was going for was basically like if the Situation from Jersey Shore drew himself in an anime.
Perfect. Oh yeah. While platforms like Facebook are cracking down on deepfakes, they're letting slide cheap fakes, a slang that covers poorly manipulated images and videos like dishonest cropping, including this photo of Ghislaine Maxwell. Can you guess who's cropped out of the image? I know you're thinking of a lot of names, but you probably weren't expecting Michael Bolton.
But what if someone alters an image beforehand?
Some versions of this come in the form of photography techniques, where images are affected by the photographer's angles, framing, lighting, and timing, which can have a powerful effect on how you see the subject, as seen in this picture of Beyonce. When many states were on lockdown during the April 2020 COVID-19 outbreak, news stories sprung up of people flouting social distancing policies. The stories were accompanied with photos like these. But these photos were taken with a telescopic lens, which compresses foreground and background elements to make distances appear shorter. In fact, here's a picture of a crowded beach, and here's the same beach from an overhead angle.
Staging photos can have unintended consequences, as one Saudi photographer learned when he staged a photo of his nephew posing beside two fake graves, creating a deeply moving image and a creepy afternoon with Uncle Abdul. Somebody else took the image and posted it to social media in the West, claiming that this was a Syrian boy, not a Saudi boy, and he was by the grave of his dead parents.
Editorial manipulation is possibly the most common false visual, because many can claim the image itself isn't dishonest.
Like this footage from the Black Lives Matter protests in Boston, showing police officers smashing out their own car windows to blame on protesters.
And they're gonna blame it on the protesters.
Except, there was a second video taken minutes earlier from a second angle, showing the protesters smashing out those windows. And the original video was only showing footage of police officers clearing the glass so they could move the vehicles.
Does this mean that police officers never damaged property and blamed it on protesters? It doesn't. But this video isn't proof.
It's good to follow a simple mantra: verify before you amplify.
All right, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right? Dave wrote it for me.
Really?
And false visuals don't have to be all that complicated. The Austin Police Department recently got a bunch of thank you cards for being such a great bunch in the midst of the backlash against police brutality. Or did they? They shared a picture collage of dozens of these thank you cards and the lovely envelopes they came in. Only one problem: many of the envelopes had identical handwriting. Did the cops fake the cards for a little positive PR spin?
God, you guys could be so much better.
Or maybe these thankful Austin citizens all use the same font, Karen New Roman.
Many of these false visuals are based on things that could or did happen, but the image doesn't represent it. Children were orphaned in Syria, but it's dishonest to use these visuals to make those points. The goal of most false visuals isn't even to trick you in the long term. It's to create an emotional response. Look at this picture of Donald Trump and Hitler both holding a Bible. What does it make you feel? When you learn that it's photoshopped and that Hitler never held that Bible, your brain knows the information is incorrect, but the feeling you have about the subject matter remains the same.
We'll all be fooled by false visuals. They're created by billion-dollar robot algorithms designed for the sole purpose of tricking you. And inevitably, you will share something online you thought for sure was real. It doesn't matter if you agree with the feeling the image gave you or its sentiment, delete it. Take it down, and then, if you're feeling responsible, write a follow-up about how you posted the wrong thing and how you were tricked. This will do more good for other people who follow you than you can imagine.
The only way to crush disinformation is by liking this video and subscribing, and maybe even giving money if we have a Patreon at some point.